My name is Jessica Redfield. I married after being passionately pursued by my husband, Kyle, who is 5 years younger than me. Kyle wanted kids right after we got married, and considering my age, I agreed. But for some reason, we just couldn't conceive, even though we thought it would happen quickly after getting married. Then, 5 years later, Kyle came home jubilant, announcing that his mistress was pregnant. Standing beside him was a flashy woman.
What do you mean?
There's no what do you mean. She's pregnant with my child.
Is she the one you're referring to?
Yeah, she's carrying my baby. Just like I always said, there was never a problem with me. Since I was able to get her pregnant, it means the reason we couldn't have kids was your fault. I've wasted the last 5 years.
Excuse me?
So, we're getting a divorce. For the first 3 years of our marriage, we just waited, hoping it would happen naturally. But it never did, so we went to the hospital together. Still, no kids. With each hospital visit, I started to feel more hopeless. Kyle was determined to have his own child. I could feel us drifting apart but couldn't bring myself to talk about it. I thought, maybe it's okay to just be us two. But it seemed Kyle couldn't accept that. Suddenly asking for a divorce, it might be sudden for you, but not for me. I'm tired of trying and failing every month. Guess a wife 5 years older just won't cut it. Wow, she's that old? The woman clinging to Kyle laughed at me. Yeah, she's 5 years older than me. So, she's like 40? Super old lady. Then her womb must be dead, right? Maybe it's fossilized. How could they say such cruel things? I've tried so hard for my husband. To think my dreams would be crushed just because she's older. I should have married a younger woman from the start. Then maybe I'd be a dad by now. But it's fine, right? I can have your child. It's growing right here. True, my child is here.
Are you sure it's yours?
What are you talking about? Don't be rude just because you can't have one. There's no doubt the child in Natalie's womb is mine. Don't say crazy things just because you can't get pregnant. I see. So, here's the divorce papers. Kyle said, placing the divorce papers in front of me. His name was clearly written on them. Even the witnesses' names were filled out, so thoroughly prepared. The witness section is filled out too, huh? Yeah, once you sign it, it can be taken straight to the office. I see. But it's not certain that I'll sign it. You're planning not to sign it? Listen, you're defective. How long do you plan on clinging to Kyle? Don't you feel sorry for him? If you really care about him, you should cleanly step away. That's right. Natalie actually cares about me. Unlike Jessica, who never thinks about me. How low can you get? I'm thinking about you. That's why I'm considering not getting a divorce. You're not thinking about me, you're only thinking about yourself and your life. If I'm gone, you'll immediately struggle with living. That's not necessarily true. I work too, you know. But without me, you'll never be able to remarry. No man would want to marry an old woman like you. So you think that way? Of course. I feel cheated by you. I wanted children, but the one thing I wanted most, I couldn't have because of you. It's all my fault, then? Yes, it's your fault. You know it from the hospital tests. They showed I had no problems. So, the problem is with you. You're infertile. So I'm infertile. That's what you thought. What else am I supposed to think? If it wasn't me, then it had to be you. I see. So you understand, right? I can't go on with you anymore. Just sign this and let's end it. For the sake of the child in her belly.
Yeah, hurry up. An old, infertile woman is useless.
Having heard all that, I had no choice but to sign. So, I picked up the pen and wrote my name. I'm looking forward to having your child. The woman leaned on Kyle and said this, making him happy. After finishing my signature, Elle pushed the paper towards Kyle, muttering, "Well, it can't be helped." The two of them left the house joyfully with the divorce papers in hand. The house I had lived in for 5 years suddenly felt empty and sad. It felt like an empty nest. But 2 years later, I stood in front of a cheap apartment, holding a baby. The apartment was old, with doors rotting and wood peeling off here and there. I smiled slyly and headed for the door marked 102. Just then, the door of 102 opened, and a man came out. He looked exhausted, as if he was going to work at that hour. "Are you heading to work now?" When I spoke to him, he looked at me puzzled. "Who are you?" "It's Jessica. Your ex-wife." "My ex-wife? Are you going to work?" "You used to wear a suit, but now it's work clothes." Yeah. You used to wear a suit, but now it's work clothes." "Yeah, the company went bankrupt. Now I work in a factory." "I see, that's tough." "It's for the family. It's not that bad." Perhaps worried by Kyle's delay, Natalie, his lover from that time, peeked out from the room. She looked drastically different from 2 years ago. She had gained a lot of weight, resembling a seal. Yet her complexion was poor and her hair unkempt. It was clear she couldn't afford to spend money on herself. At Natalie's feet was a little girl. Though her features were nice, she didn't seem to resemble Kyle. "Your child?" "Yeah, it's my child." "Cute, right?" "Yes, indeed. Quite adorable." "The child you're holding, whose is it?" "Oh, it's my child." "You're lying, right? Did you borrow a child just to tell such a lie?" "If you think it's a lie, then so be it. You were infertile, weren't you?" "The infertile one was you." "That's impossible. I have a child, so it can't be me. If there's proof that child is yours, then maybe. It's harder to prove the child isn't mine. Anyway, why are you here? Did you move to this apartment too?" "No, I came here to tell you something." "You? Who is that person?" Unable to stay silent any longer, Natalie chimed in. "You're the ex-wife, right? The woman from that time." "Oh come on, calling me the woman from that time, that's a bit harsh. Long time no see, Natalie. You've become quite plump since having a child." "Of course, I'm raising a child. You'll be the same soon if that child is really yours." "My child, but who knows if I'll end up like you. Still, you've changed a lot. You used to look so tired. Now you seem so relaxed, it's irritating. Thanks to you for taking him away." "Huh? Looking at you, I realized I used to be just like that." "What do you mean?" "You look so poor. Your hair's a mess and your clothes look cheap. You seem tired from life." "Shut up. If I had stayed married to him, I would have ended up like you. I'm glad I got a divorce." "That's none of your business." "I owe you my beauty. I always thought I should thank you when I saw you next." "What do you mean by that?" "You took him away, so I was able to remarry my current husband. After the divorce, I decided to spend money on myself. I met my current husband at the spa I frequented. Oh, by the way, he owns the spa." "A spa owner, so you're a CEO's wife?" "Exactly. Look, my husband's right there." She pointed to a black luxury car. And inside was my husband of the same age. "That's a luxury car?" "Yes, with a chauffeur." "No way." "A woman changes with the man she's with." Natalie looked frustrated. No wonder. The man she took is now bankrupt and working in a factory. Living in a rundown apartment. I remarried a year ago. Got pregnant right away. This is the baby." "That's impossible. You were supposed to be infertile, so how can you have a child?" "Like I said earlier, you were the infertile one." "That can't be true. How do I know if that child is really yours?" "Oh dear, I gave birth to this child. No doubt it's mine. Unlike your child, mine resembles both me and my husband. Your child looks like your wife, but not like you. Children's faces change over time. It will eventually resemble me. I hope so." "Right, Natalie? What do you mean by that?" "What do I mean? If you're fertile, it should resemble you. There's no way I'm not fertile. Natalie, panicked, came to Kyle's defense. That's right. It's impossible that the child isn't Kyle's. It's just that the resemblance isn't clear yet. And who knows if that child you're holding is really yours? Maybe you just borrowed it to show off. Who would lend a child just for that? It's probably just a coincidence that they look alike. That's when Kyle seemed to realize something. You said I was infertile, but how can you say that? Let's go back to that, shall we? I'll tell you. Remember when we went to the hospital for infertility treatment while we were married? We had tests done, right? Yes, we did. You made me go alone to hear the results. Yeah, that's right. Well, the truth is, you were the one who was infertile. But I thought you'd be upset if I told you the truth, so I said there was nothing wrong with you. Kyle looked at the little girl and then at his wife. So you assumed I was the problem because you thought you were fine. Then if that's true, whose child is this? Who knows whose child it is? It's your child. You can't listen to what this woman says. She's just seeking revenge for being dumped by you. She might have used a surrogate or something, claiming someone else's child as her own. So don't believe what she says. Think what you want. That dress might not even be real. That car could be a rental. It could all be a lie. She might be just pretending to be rich. Poor you, Natalie. How can you even think of such things? Well, I've only told the truth. If the child doesn't resemble you in 10 years, then you might want to reconsider. Kyle looked shocked. He seemed a bit taken aback. Natalie, you might meet a rich man if you remarry. I said that to Natalie and then headed back to the car. After dropping such a bombshell, I thought Kyle might rethink things, but 3 months later, I received a call from him. I put the baby in the crib and left the nursery to answer the phone. Hello? Ah, it's me. Who is this? It's me, Kyle. Oh, my ex-husband. What's up? I did a DNA test on the child, like you suggested. Oh? And it turns out the child isn't mine. I see. The test said there's a 99.9% chance the child is someone else's. So, there's still 0.1% chance it's your child. A 0.1% chance? Can you trust that? I don't know what to tell you. I was deceived. Well, you were easily fooled when she said she was pregnant with your child. I thought I was fertile. Of course, I believed it when she said she was pregnant. Then you should keep believing it. How can I believe it now that the results are out? What do you want me to say? It's a problem with your family, not mine. So I asked my wife. That's brave of you. And she confessed. She said the child isn't mine, but she doesn't know whose it is. What a story. She said she was with another man at the time and thought it would work out since I wanted a child. Exactly. It all went according to her plan. Indeed. So now that you know, what will you do? Divorce? That's obvious. What will you do about the divorce? The child thinks you're her father. I have no choice but divorce. She's been deceiving me the whole time. She may have deceived you, but the child hasn't. Why not turn a blind eye and be a father? You wanted a child so much. It doesn't have to be your bloodline. How can I love a child whose origin I don't even know? Would you love the child if you knew whose it was? No, that's not it either. You wanted a child, right? Or did you just want your own bloodline? I wanted a child of my own blood. But you don't have a seed, so you can't help it. If you separate now, you'll never be a father again. It's a child born of your beloved wife. Isn't it okay to stay as you are? It's not that simple. You're stubborn. Call it what you want. The divorce is already final. Wow, that was quick. These things are better settled quickly. Well, do as you like. How can I endure a poor life with a child that's not even mine? Your life is poor because your income is low, right? No, I was saving for the child. That's what any parent does.
If I didn't have a child, I wouldn't have saved. I wouldn't have had to work near home.
For the family, it was a factory job.
Yeah, in case the child suddenly got sick, I wanted to be able to rush over.
I see. You were trying hard.
But all of that was pointless, depending on how you see it. If only you had told me the truth, none of this would have happened.
Oh, so it's my fault? Of course. If you hadn't kept silent, I wouldn't have thought I had a seed. If I knew I didn't have a seed, I wouldn't have fallen for such a scam. It's all your fault. So you called to tell me it's my fault?
That's right. Where else can I direct this anger?
That's incredibly selfish.
I'm not at fault at all.
Ah, keep telling yourself that. I can't listen to this nonsense. With that, I hung up the phone, frustrated by Kyle's selfishness. Even after the breakup, he remained selfish. Maybe a bit of hardship would do him good. With that thought, I came up with an idea. A few days later, I contacted Natalie.
Natalie?
It's Jessica. Eh? Jessica, the show-off? She's just as rude as ever. Like husband, like wife, it seems. Why do you have my phone number? Money can do a lot. You must have had someone look up my phone number. Yes. I heard you're divorced now. Yes, because of someone's unnecessary remarks, he got suspicious and checked. It's all your fault. I can't help what you think. What's done to me, I do back double, no matter how many years pass.
That's harsh.
Yes, it's sad for the child. Exactly. Even a small income is better than none. The child keeps asking where daddy is. He doesn't understand why he left. Well, it's hard for a 2-year-old.
I'm struggling to get him into daycare so I can work. It's all your fault.
It's your fault. You're paying for your past fun now.
What did you call for? To say that?
No. I called to give you some good advice.
Good advice?
You're struggling, right? Why not claim child support?
Child support?
Yes. But the child isn't his. It doesn't matter what the truth is, the law sees it differently.
How so?
Under the law, a child conceived during marriage is presumed to be the husband's child, whether he is the biological father or not.
What? Really?
Yes. Even if the parentage isn't recognized, child support is still a legal obligation. Interesting. You're struggling, right? Why not claim child support? I might just do that. It may be tough to claim alimony, but child support is a sure thing. It would be a loss not to claim it. Interesting. So there's a law like that? Absolutely. There's no reason not to use it. Why are you telling me this? For the child's sake. You're raising him alone, right? It's obvious you'll struggle. I wanted to help, not you, but the child. Thank you. I'll try it right away. It seems Natalie believed me and decided to claim child support from Kyle. This was my perfect revenge. I wanted to see how low Kyle could go, but expecting too much might be unrealistic. However, when Kyle was cornered, he reached out to vent his frustrations. Hey, Jessica. Oh, Kyle. What's up?
You gave Natalie some ideas, didn't you?
Ideas? What about?
Child support. I said I wouldn't pay since the child isn't mine, but now she's demanding it.
I just shared information. She was so uninformed when we met 2 years ago. It seemed cruel to leave her ignorant. For the child's sake.
You're meddling too much.
Am I?
Yes. Now I have to pay $300 a month in child support. My take-home pay is only $1,400, and $300 goes to the child. That leaves me with only $1,100.
I can do subtraction, no need to explain.
I divorced to avoid a life of poverty, but why do I have to pay for a child that isn't mine?
That's the law.
But that child isn't mine.
Complain to your past self. Your past self's foolishness is to blame. Complaining to my past self won't fill my current stomach. True. What are you going to do about it? Complain to the law, not me. I didn't make it. And remember, you chose that woman. I know. I just don't have the money. I understand. That's why I'm glad I left you. If I'd stayed married to you, I'd be poor too, tiptoeing around you. Ridiculous. Damn, now I'm living in poverty every day. What are you going to do about it? I'm not doing anything. It's self-inflicted. But still, give me money. How did it come to this? And where did your pride go? Pride? That doesn't matter when I'm facing the harsh reality of having no money. You got rich by remarrying after divorcing me, right? Yeah, that's true. So, it's thanks to me that you became rich? Not really. Then give me some money. I'll take $500. No, make it $1,000 a month. Your demands are increasing, huh? Look, you can say whatever you want, but I told her about child support because I wanted to get back at you for what you did 2 years ago. My revenge was a huge success. Help me out, will you? Kyle kept begging for help, but I had no intention of helping him, so I hung up the phone and blocked him. Afterward, Kyle apparently started doing extra jobs in addition to his factory work to pay the child support demanded by Natalie. He seemed to be in a worn-out state, barely able to do his job properly. Moreover, since he must pay child support until the child graduates from college, it looks like his poor life will continue for a while. Kyle, desperate for money, moved from a 2-room apartment to a cheaper, so-called haunted place. Despite rarely being home, he experiences unbelievable and terrifying phenomena whenever he is there. This has led him to a point where he barely lives in the apartment he rents, questioning the purpose of even renting it. Such is his daily life, filled with fear and confusion. As a result, he often stays at motels, incurring extra costs. What a mess. Natalie, on the other hand, is using the child support money not for the child but to try and connect with rich men, imitating what I did. She goes to beauty salons but remains unchanged in her hefty appearance, and no man seems to approach her. Hence, she hasn't been able to escape her impoverished life and is often seen rummaging through discount items at supermarkets. As for me, thanks to my husband, I'm living a life of high quality. I'm enjoying my time playing with my child, making the most of every day.